Disclaimer time. I just want to start off by saying that I do not agree or condone the actions of this individual. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the Pew Pew Man. I'm sure many of you have seen this headline by CNN where they said our man's Luigi has to choose between pizza beans and chicken parmesan. Now, I know what chicken parm is, obviously. I literally made it, I think like 5 days ago, but I had never heard of pizza beans before. So today we are going to be making and trying not only pizza beans, we're also going to be making chicken parmesan and comparing them to see which one is better. Before I can make either of these dishes, I have to make the base sauce, which is going to be marinara. I just want to put this out there that I'm very aware that I'm making it wrong, but we're going to proceed anyway. We're going to start off with some olive oil. We're going to saute the onions in there, get it nice and, getting caramelized a little bit. Gonna add some very thinly sliced garlic in there. I know you're not supposed to mix it up. Please do not take me out. Gonna add the garlic in there, saute it some more, and then I'm going to add in whole San Marzano tomatoes from the can. I'm gonna pop it in there, add some water, take my meat masher and smush it down until it's nice and chunky. I prefer a chunky sauce over a smooth sauce, and the reason I didn't blend it is because if you blend it, your sauce is gonna be more pink and less red, and you want us to be as red as original taste. We're now going to make the chicken portion of the chicken parmesan. I'm going to start by taking some chicken thighs, putting it in between parchment paper, and taking out all my anger and beating it with a literal hammer. Then I'm going to prepare my dredge. This one is flour with some salt and pepper. I'm going to mix it up with a whisk. Then I'm going to prepare some eggs. You can see it to the left. And finally, I'm going to have some Italian breadcrumbs. And basically, I'm going to take my chicken that I've pounded with a hammer. I'm going to dip it in the flour first, making sure I get like every crevice. I want it to be properly coated. After that's coated, I'm going to stick it in the egg. Make sure the egg gets everything, and that's like our first layer. Then from the egg, I'm gonna stick it straight into the Italian breadcrumbs and make sure it is nice and coated fully, because it's gonna give you that crispy, crunchy texture that you get when you fry chicken for chicken parmesan. After that, I stuck it in some oil. It's like not a lot of oil, but I just let it cook for a little bit before flipping it over. I didn't have tongs, they were dirty, so I used some chopsticks and it worked perfectly fine. And yeah, that's the chicken portion of the chicken parmesan. Next is to actually, I guess, make it together. I started off by putting some sauce on an oven pan, and then I put the chicken on it. You can hear how crispy it sounds. Right, put my chicken on it, and then I didn't want to add sauce on top because I didn't want it to get soggy, so I just added some mozzarella cheese as well as some Parmesan cheese. I stuck it in the oven to broil, and you might be like, wow, Summer, this looks like an entirely different pan, and you would be correct. It is an entirely different pan because I remade it today. However, it's the same recipe that I used when I made it last week, so here's what it looks like. It looks pretty delicious. Ignore the really dry noodles. I'm sure they don't give you really good food in prison anyway, so yeah, that's what that looks like. And next up, let's make the beans.
Oh my God! What is that?
So let's make the pizza beans. This is the recipe I'm using. Starting off with some olive oil, you're going to saute the aromatics, which is some garlic, as well as half a tomato I had in my fridge for a while. I'm going to cook that down for a little bit before adding my seasoning. It's going to be crushed red pepper, some oregano, of course, and then salt and pepper as you want. Make sure you taste it so it's not too salty. After that, I'm going to add the beans. These are cannellini beans that I rinsed out, so all the slimy water that's in the can is not there anymore. I added the homemade marinara that we made earlier into it, added some water to give it a little more liquid, and just mixed everything together nicely before covering it up and sauteing it on low for about 15 minutes. Here you're supposed to add basil. I didn't have basil, so I added cilantro, and then I added some mozzarella cheese. But here's what it looks like after I put it in the oven to broil. And yeah, it's time to do our taste test. Here's what they both look like side by side. I'm not gonna lie, the pizza beans actually looks pretty good. I made some Hong Kong pancakes to eat with it, and it was nice and stretchy. Here's a cheese pull. Yeah, I realized it was hot. But when I ate it, honestly, let's focus on it. Look at how that looks. Like, it just looks like a regular dip, like a pizza themed dip. The bread was crunchy. I was a little confused because it doesn't taste like beans. It just tastes like pizza. It tastes like, basically it just tastes like pizza. Like, I wouldn't have known there were beans in this. Honestly, if you blended the beans up into the sauce, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. It was a little confusing, but honestly, it wasn't bad. Like, my rating for this is an 8 out of 10. Like, this is good. I tried the Parmesan as well. It's regular Parmesan. Like, it's also probably like a 7 to 8 out of 10. Not the worst thing in the world, just not super exciting. The marinara sauce was very good though. It was very delicious. Chicken was crispy. I did a good job with this. And then I had the genius idea idea, like what if I combine the two? Marinara is good, the chicken is good, the pizza beans are good, like everything should be good, and they're all kind of in the same flavor family. So I definitely topped the chicken parm with the pizza beans, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel really conflicted saying this, but it actually tasted pretty good. It actually tasted better. It actually tasted better than the chicken parm alone. It looks gross, but it was pretty tasty. So overall rating, 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I guess you can dislike it. And if you'd like, you can comment what I should make next, and see you on the next one. Bye, besties.